What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another video. Hope you're doing well, feeling great, and enjoying freedom. It's a great day to have a great day. It's a great day to get you some silver. In today's video, not only do I want to talk a little bit about what's on the menu here, what's on display, but I want to answer the question, how much silver is a good goal for starters? What should that number be? How many ounces should the beginner stacker shoot for while entering the door of the precious metal world? We're going to get into it. But really quick, just in case you're new, make sure to subscribe for a bunch of videos and subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos. Follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms. And 3 quick little things before we dive into the video. Number 1, get you some Celsius. It's a healthier version of the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now so you can try the different flavors. I'll leave an affiliate link in the description. 2, if you haven't already gotten started investing and you'd like to, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you some free stocks just for doing so. And it's a great place for beginners because it's really easy to navigate on the app. Take advantage. Link in the description. And 3, and finally, if you need any stacking supplies or even prepping supplies, I'll leave all those in the description as well. If you need some airtight tubes and capsules, or maybe some mint tubes or anti-tarnish paper, microscopes, mini lock boxes, the list goes on. All of that will be linked in the description for your convenience. Alright, so in today's video, I want to talk about what we have on display. I'll run through it pretty quick because most of it is fairly self-explanatory. You can tell just by looking at it. I'm sure a lot of you can. But I also want to answer the question, what's a good goal when you enter the silver stacking world? How many ounces of silver should you aim for, at least at the beginning? What should the beginner's mission be? Primary mission. But first, let's see what we have on display. We have some Type 2 American Silver Eagles up there toward the top, some Queen's Beasts, the Greyhound, the Yale. We have a mint tube of Silver Eagles up top, a medallion tube of generic silver rounds over here, an airtight tube with some more silver rounds. We have a half-ounce sunshine round, a Walking Liberty sunshine round, the Creatures of the North. Oh man, some of my favorite pieces of silver ever, especially this one right here, the Kraken. Oh man, I wish they kept that series going. Some junk silver down here, 90% junk constitutional silver. We got some Mercury dimes, some Roosevelt dimes, some Washington quarters, some Walking Liberty half dollars. And do we have any? Are they all Washington? Yeah, they're all Washington quarters. I thought I might have had some standing liberties in there. We got the 10-ounce Bull Bar, the 10-ounce Sunshine Bar, 5-ounce Sunshine Bar, a 1-ounce Westminster Bar, a 5-ounce Aztec Calendar round, Type 1 Eagle, Maple, Buffalo round, 2-ounce Monarch brick, 3-ounce Monarch poured bar, Kangaroo underneath, and last but certainly not least, the beautiful American flag silver bar. Just wanted to showcase what we had on the menu and offer a quick little explanation in case there was something on display that you weren't familiar with. Alright, so let's say it's day 1 for you, or let's say it's not even day 1. Let's say tomorrow starts day 1 for you. You decided for yourself, okay, you know what? I read enough about silver. I've watched enough of these DYDSS videos, and I've done enough of my own research, and I've decided for myself that I want to get started stacking silver for long-term wealth preservation purposes. I understand that it's probably not something I should consider an investment or a get-rich-quick scheme, because it's not. It's something that's going to hedge against inflation, or should hedge against inflation for me long-term, decades out in the future, and preserve purchasing power. I want to get started. What should my goal be? Let's just say that's where you're at. Maybe that is where you're at. And tomorrow you plan on hitting the local coin shop and picking you up some silver. What's a good goal? In my opinion, I think a good goal right now would be to make it a priority to get your first 100 ounces of silver. Now, it doesn't stop just there. Once you hit 100, woohoo, celebrate, and then raise the bar. Sure, if that's what you want to do at least. But I think that's a good milestone. That's a good prize to keep your eye on the prize. I think that's a good number to shoot for, especially when you're entering and you don't have any silver just yet, or you just picked up your first little itty bit of silver. Set that number to 100 and work your way up to it. Now, the cool thing about silver is that it's fairly cheap. In my opinion, yeah, it's almost double what it was when I first got started stacking silver, but I still consider it very, very cheap. And most people would agree that it's incredibly undervalued. That said, spot price of silver as I'm filming the video, Saturday, March 8th, who knows what it's going to be by the time this video comes out. I'm trying to film like 2, 3, 4, 5 videos a day. That way I can kind of bank them, stack them up, release them one by one. I just want to make sure I have enough in the bank. But the spot price as I'm filming the video is about $32.50, give or take. Let's call it $33 per troy ounce. You're going to have to factor in a little bit of a premium there. You're probably not going to be walking out the door without spending less than $38 on each individual troy ounce of silver. So let's just say the stack price, the grand total out the door price tag is about 38 bucks. If you want to work your way up to 100 ounces of silver, at today's stack price, it would cost you about 3,800 bucks, which I know at face value sounds kind of hefty. In the grand scheme of things, that's actually really not that bad at all. And it's very doable. And you don't have to drop that 3,800 bucks today. When I say potentially set the bar to 100 ounces of silver as your first goal, silver stacking goal, I don't mean today. I don't mean right now. I'm talking about over the course of, I don't know, let's just say a year. And you can break it down. Spot price of silver from today compared to a year from today, there will almost certainly be plenty of ups and downs between the next 365 days. So you might get some a little bit less than what today's prices is. You might get some a little bit more. It all evens out and averages out at the end. But if you want to break it down, if you want to start today or this week and a year from now hit that 100 ounce of silver mark, you can do that very easily by getting yourself 8, 9, 10 ounces of silver every month. It's not that much. You don't have to do that much. 8, 9, 10 ounces of silver every month? Let's just say on the lower end, 8 ounces of silver. Break that down even further. 2 ounces of silver per week. That's very, very doable. You can go to the coin shop every week on payday and get yourself 2 little coins, or 2 little rounds, or 2 little bars. 2 little ounces of silver. And you can do that every week for an entire year and either hit or just about hit the 100 ounce mark. Or if you want to just save up and get yourself, 9 or 10, even better, 10 ounces of silver every month. By the time a year goes by, you'll have more than 100 ounces of silver, and you'll be getting a better bang for your buck. Because these silver bars right here, the 10 ounce denomination, I've always said is kind of the sweet spot. Because with each ounce of silver comes a premium. Can't really escape that, unfortunately. It's always going to carry a premium. You will be paying a certain amount of dollars over spot, but the larger the denomination of silver, the lower the premium is going to be. If it's a 10 ounce silver bar, it's going to carry a lower premium than you would be paying for 10 1 ounce silver bars, so on and so forth. A 20 ounce silver bar is even better. A kilo bar is even better. If you have enough cash to get yourself a 100 ounce silver bar today, that's going to be the cheapest way to go. Although, the bigger the denomination of silver, the less practical it could be. Carrying around this big giant block of silver, maybe you don't want to part ways with 100 ounces of silver all at once. Maybe you'd rather have smaller denominations, that way if you need to liquidate a little bit, you can easily without having to fork over a giant block of silver. Which is why I think the 10 ounce denomination is the sweet spot. It's easy, it's practical, it's fairly lightweight, and it's just big enough to finally start noticing a difference in the premiums. I always tell people it's like getting something from the grocery store, 3 of the same product, so you have enough. Or you can go to the wholesale club and get that same product, which is 3 times as big as a normal product at the grocery store, for cheaper than it would cost you at the grocery store to get 3. Same amount of product. Picture it as like a 1 ounce bar versus a 3 ounce bar. Except the 1 ounce bar, you got 3 of them. You got 3 1 ounce bars. Or 1 3 ounce bar. The 3 ounce bar is a little bit cheaper. Wholesale club versus grocery store. Now, what's also cool about silver is that you can mix and match it up. You don't have to stick exclusively with 10 ounce silver bars. You can go and get yourself, $1, $2, $3 face value worth of junk silver. And you can do it that way too. It's almost like stacking on a more fractional level. But if you want to stick with pure silver, which is my preference, easier to do the math. You get an ounce of silver here, 5 ounces of silver here, 10 ounces of silver here. Guess what? You're at 16 ounces of silver. 84 ounces to go. Not that bad. Not that difficult. Not impossible. And once a year goes by, and let's just say you're picking up 8, 9, maybe 10 ounces of silver every month. Maybe 1 month you pick up 2 ounces of silver every week. The month goes by. That's 8 ounces of silver. The following month, you're like, hey, you know what? I'm going to save up a little bit. You wait until the end of the month, you have the cash, and you go and get yourself a 10-ounce silver bar. Maybe the month after that, you kind of do the same thing, but you pick up 2 5-ounce silver bars. And it adds up. Little by little by little by little. 2 ounces here, 5 ounces here, 10 ounces here. As long as you stick to a game plan, as long as you have a goal, and you've broken down that goal and figured out a way to take small, simple steps in the right direction, which will eventually lead you to where you want to go. And by the way, you don't have, if you say 100 ounces of silver in a year, if 365 days go by and you only have 92 ounces of silver, you don't need to beat yourself up about it. It's not a race. There's not a deadline. You don't have to hit it in exactly 365 days. If you get close to it, guess what? You have 92 ounces of silver. If you're doing the best you can, you're doing the best you can. And if you are doing the best you can, you're already doing more than the average person out there. So you already are coming out on top, even though you didn't hit the number that you wanted to hit in the exact amount of time that you wanted to hit it in. Moving on. Once you hit the 100 ounces of silver mark, once you hit that milestone, once you celebrated that milestone, you did it, you finally made it 100 ounces of silver. What can you do from there? You can rinse and repeat. That's one thing you can do. You can say to yourself, hey, I just hit 100 ounces of silver. Wasn't that bad. I was able to do it in a year. I was able to do it in less than a year, potentially. I'm going to do it again. This time, maybe even faster. Maybe instead of 8 to 10 ounces of silver a month, I'm going to shoot for 10 ounces of silver a month minimum. 12 if I can afford it. 15 if I can afford it. Maybe go and get yourself a mint tube full of silver eagles. Or a medallion tube full of silver, I don't know, buffalo rounds or something like that. 20 a piece. If you can afford it. And if that's what you truly want to do with your currency, why not do it? It'll get you to your goal a little faster. And buying them slightly in bulk like that reduces the premium as well. Similar to buying larger denominations of silver, the 10-ounce silver bars, kilo bars, 50-ounce bars. And guess what? The closer you get to your next goal, you're probably going to be a little bit more educated. When you're first starting to stack, you're probably thinking to yourself, oh, what's the best way to go? What type of silver should I start out with? And I've posted videos like that over the last couple of days. You can go and check them out. I think right now the best silver most people can go after would be either 10-ounce silver bars or really popular generic silver rounds, the little 1-ounce buffaloes potentially, or sunshine rounds. They all carry lower premiums than a lot of the other silver out there, and it still contains a full troy ounce of pure silver. So to me, what's the difference? Doesn't matter what's on it. What matters is getting as much physical silver content in your possession as humanly possible for ideally the lowest dollar bill price tag. So there are a variety of different ways you can get started. But as I said, once you hit your first milestone, that 100, and you set the bar to 200 or something like that, the closer you get to your next milestone, or the more involved in the precious metal world you get, the more educated you're going to become, the more types of coins, rounds, and bars you're going to discover along the way. Hey, that looks pretty cool. That looks pretty interesting. Hey, I read about this. I heard about that. Someone talked to me about this. Somebody referred me to that. And guess what? Now, not only are you building a stack of silver for long-term wealth preservation purposes, but at the same time, simultaneously, it's becoming a hobby. It's something that you're becoming more and more interested in, most likely. I haven't heard of too many people that got started stacking silver, super excited about it, and then all of a sudden became bored. I know the precious metal stacking world did become a little bland for a little while because there wasn't a whole lot of activity, and I felt like during the COVID crash, a lot of the wrong people entered, and we were hearing a lot of opinions from people that probably shouldn't have even stepped in the first place. They were in it for the wrong reason, and they had all the wrong ideas. So, you know, maybe that was a little bit discouraging. But for somebody to be enthusiastic about the precious metals, they like the way it looks, they like the different coins, the rounds, the bars, the history, the story, the art. If they're excited about it, that's probably not something that's going to be going away, especially not while setting your second stacking goal for yourself. So, the more educated you become and the more coins, rounds, and bars you discover along the way, not only are you building yourself up a stack of silver for long-term wealth preservation purposes, but you're also diversifying the stack as well. See, at first for me, I didn't really care for 90% silver. And then in, I believe it was 2020 and or 2021, that was pretty much all I was stacking. I became super into 90% constitutional silver. This stuff down here, the Walking Liberty half dollars, stuff like this, 90% silver, which is roughly 1/3 of a troy ounce of silver. Washington or Standing Liberty quarters, 90% silver right here. Also happens to be roughly 1/6 of a troy ounce of silver. It takes 6 of these to equal a troy ounce. Man, my battery died. Didn't even realize it was low. I've been filming so many videos today. In addition to the half dollar and the quarter, there's also the dime. There's the Roosevelt dime that everybody's familiar with. This one is the Mercury dime. Once again, 90% silver. And you know what's cool about it? It's such a small increment. It's about 1/14 of a troy ounce of silver. Super small denomination. And funny enough, like I was just saying, at first, I really couldn't care less about 90% silver. I was like, I'm more of a pure silver kind of guy. That's just what I'm into. Then lo and behold, during the COVID crash, when pure silver appeared to be carrying a much higher premium than junk silver, I switched over to junk silver. I was like, all right, well, you know, it is what it is. I'll just get this silver at the end of the day. And as I started getting more 90% silver, the more excited I got about 90% silver. And I fell in love with constitutional coins. So that's just kind of what happens. The longer you stack and the more silver you acquire, the more educated you're going to become, the more diverse you're going to become, and the more interested you're going to become in other pieces. Who knows? You might get started stacking and find out that, you know what, I'm really not so much of a stacker per se, but more of a coin collector. Maybe you develop more of an interest in, I don't know, the Canadian Birds of Prey series, or like the Wildlife series, or you find like a set of coins that you're really interested in, or it could really be anything. Maybe it's like the Krugerrand, or something like that, or actually even better, the Kookaburra. Beautiful, beautiful coin. I don't have any silver kookaburras. I have a gold kookaburra, but every year its design changes. The silver panda, another good example, changes every year. Different design every year. So maybe you become more interested in something like that. You want to get you find a coin that you like, or, you know, a list of coins that you like, and you get one of each of them from this year. And you do the same thing next year, and the year after that, and the year after that, and the year after that. And you're more on the collector side of things. Who knows? You really have to get your foot in the door, and you have to get a little bit of experience. You need a little bit of skin in the game to figure out like what your true intentions are and what your true interests are. My interests have changed when it comes to silver. I started in 2017, the end of 2017. I went the entire year of 2018 stacking as aggressively as possible. 2019 stacking as aggressively as possible. In that time frame, I had quite a bit of generic silver rounds. Couple silver bars, but the overwhelming majority of my stack, a bunch of silver eagles. Had quite a few silver maples too. But my stack, like the foundation of my stack, silver eagles all over the place. Tubes upon tubes upon tubes of silver eagles. Some of them cull, scratched up, tarnished, toned, that I got for a lower premium. Some of them I got in actual mint tubes, 20 at a time, to make the premium a little lower. That's how I spent. For the most part, that's how I spent my first 2 years of stacking. Then 2020 came around and we had to re-strategize a little bit. But either way, look at the stack now. And this obviously is not the full stack. What you're looking at on display right here, this is not my entire stack. This is kind of like one of everything. I have a bunch of silver eagles, a bunch of silver maples, a bunch of generic rounds, and aside from those, these are some of the miscellaneous pieces that I've picked up. Have a little bit of gold too, not a tremendous amount, not nearly as much as I would like to have. I guess you can say the same about silver for me. There's no such thing as having enough silver, but I'm pretty satisfied with how much silver I have picked up over the years. Not satisfied with how much gold I've picked up. I really, really slacked and lacked on the beautiful yellow metal. But either way, this is about silver, and this is about you. If you're somebody that's getting started stacking, how much silver is a good goal? I would say 100 ounces of silver. I would say that should be the first milestone. Give yourself something to look forward to. And guess what? Once you hit that mark, who knows? Maybe you could do what I did. I celebrated by getting me some more silver. Just something to think about, just something to talk about. If you guys like today's video, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, subscribe to my second channel for bonus videos, follow me on social media at Mykie DYDSS across all platforms, and of course the big three, if you haven't already, try you out some Celsius Energy. It's a healthier version of the other energy drinks out there. You can get a 12-pack variety pack on Amazon right now, so you can try out all the different flavors. I will leave an affiliate link in the description. 2, if you haven't already and you want to get started investing, make sure to download Webull and fund your account. They're going to give you free stocks just for doing so. And it's really easy to navigate on the app, which makes it especially simple for new investors. Webull link in the description. And third and finally, if you need any silver stacking or gold stacking supplies, maybe it be airtight tubes and capsules, medallion tubes for the generics, mint tubes for the government minted coins, anti-tarnish paper, mini lock boxes, safes, microscopes, the list goes on. Silver and gold stacking supplies will also be in the description. Bunch of affiliate links for your convenience. Anything you need, it's right there. Check out the reviews, check out the pictures. It's all there for you. And I also want you guys to head on down to the comments and let me know anything and everything related to today's video topic. When it comes to silver, if you're somebody that's thinking about getting started stacking silver, what are your thoughts? Do you think 100 ounces of silver is maybe a good goal for you? Maybe you work your way up to 100 ounces of silver and then you decide for yourself, all right, I want to continue. Or maybe, yeah, you know what? I hit the milestone, that's cool, not really for me, I'm going to go trade it back for the cash and use the cash for something else. It's yours to do whatever you want with. And if you're someone that's been stacking for a while, similar to the question that I answered in today's video, what would you say is a good goal for a new stacker? What would you say is a good milestone, a good thing to aim for while beginning the silver stacking journey? Let us all know in the comments section down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. See you in the next one. Don't you dare stop smiling. Peace.